What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Shiggy. As usual, you already know what it is. I am so excited to be making this video. Well, I'm excited but I'm not, because I'm going to be sharing with you guys my biggest secret. So I'm kind of like nervous, I'm kind of scared and all that type of stuff. But with that being said guys, this is actually a second intro to this video, because the first intro, when I did it, I was just like, oh, I don't really like it, because I did it yesterday, and yesterday I was in a different place mentally, and I'm just so thankful guys. I'm so thankful to everybody that reached out to me and then talk to me about certain things. But other than that, I'm in a different place. I'm so motivated. I am extremely motivated. I don't know, man, like I watched a couple of videos. Shout out to Sweet Lou, man. Dude, you're so incredible. Shout out to my friends Dre and everybody, man. Like, you guys are so incredible. We Photo Guys, this is just an announcement right now that I never really told you guys, that We Photo Guys will become a zine. So that's why I've been really pushing a lot of these videos to be like, okay guys, let's push these videos so that when the channel, my channel grows, then that means I'll be able to do that zine and also have a platform to make that zine become something greater and something bigger, and that will give you guys an opportunity. That's why I'm very keen on, like, guys, like these videos, let's go, let's do this, because as you know, from day one, I'm really big on giving back and doing some cool stuff with you guys. But you guys gotta help me in order to help you guys push for something greater. And We Photo Gods is yours no matter what. That will never ever change, but I need your help in order to push these videos to get to a point where when you go into the zine and you make it into the zine, you get exposure, you get your name out there and all that type of stuff. And obviously there'll be profits allocated to everybody that was involved into the zine. With that being said guys, let's get straight to the video. So this video is, again, my biggest secret: editing film photos. Like, this is really hard for you, because like this is like my secret. This is like my little thing that I do. But with that being said, there's two things you're gonna need for this video, and the two things you're gonna need are Lightroom and Photoshop. There's an extra third thing that you are gonna need, but I will touch on that in the video. But those are the main key components. This is just a taste of what's to come in the guides, because I have a lot of knowledge with photo retouching and a whole bunch of stuff, and those things are going to be in the guides, or I might do a Patreon account. I was just researching that yesterday. I will be offering exclusive videos for the Patreon. I'm not finalizing that right now because I'm not sure how the funding goes and all that type of stuff, but as soon as that's done, I will be doing exclusive videos, and those exclusive videos will touch on retouching, photo cleaning, Photoshop tools. I'll be offering presets and like, what's it called, like brushes and all that type of stuff. But with that being said, let's get straight to the video. I'm gonna switch over to my computer, and for the beginning of this, I'm actually gonna use my mouse, but I also use a Wacom Tablet. Guys, I really highly recommend you guys get one of these if you're a portrait photographer. This will speed up your editing process and it will give you more control while editing. So for example, it's pressure sensitive, right? So whenever you're clicking in Photoshop, it's really like integrated to be one with this pen. It's made to be one with this pen, because again, Photoshop is a drawing software, quote unquote, and yeah, these guys will help your editing experience, your cleaning up, your retouching, anything you want to do. I highly recommend a Wacom Tablet. But with that being said, let's tune into the computer and I'll see you guys when it's done. And again, remember, I took this video yesterday. Here we have Lightroom. Everything looks pretty normal, and there's a side panel over here where my secret is. So my biggest secret, guys, is I use VSCO presets. VSCO presets are really good. This is the old school way that we would use when shooting digital to get cool colors, or like film looking colors, without even knowing. We didn't even know what we're doing, but we just knew it was a really good filter slash preset to get you started. So this is how I usually used to do all my photos, but I do have custom ones that I will show. I don't think I'll show you guys, but I'll just run through a couple of VSCO presets so you guys are able to see the big array of options that you have, because Negative Lab is really big on fixing the colors and getting it all spot on, but you could also do that yourself using VSCO presets, and you could also get really good colors using VSCO presets. And remember guys, these ones are really good imitations of how film looked. So let's go over here. So over here we're gonna go on, I like clicking on a random one, so we're gonna go on Canon, right? Canon, and this one, let's click on here. We're gonna go on Canon and we're gonna go on Portra 160. The film that I shot was Portra 400, right? And over here you can see on the preview over here, you can see the difference, the different colors that the filter does. So over here you can see Portrait 400 push 2 stops, Portrait 400 push to 1 stop, and you could also see Portrait 400 -1 and Portrait 400 itself with no edits. But the cool thing is you could also check out all these other ones that are really cool. So for this one, for these purposes, let's try to edit something the way I would edit it. So to start off, we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna see what looks really good to my eye. I know I shot Portrait 400, and Portrait 400 usually has a lot of oranges, magentas, and just like a bit of like, it's a warmer feel color as opposed to Fuji that is a lot greener. So again, to just show you guys, let's go and pick up, I want something not too yellowish. So we're gonna go on 800. I really love the way 800 looks, usually straight from the lab. So we're gonna click on this guy. I like this guy a lot, actually. So, you know what, let me check out Portrait 400 Original. So I really like Portrait 400 Original. This looks really good so far. So over here, what I'm gonna do, again, I already got the color set. Let's look at the difference so far. Look at the difference. This is a lot flatter, and this is a not even flat. This, we already got really good colors on the right side, which is really awesome. Which is really awesome. Let's try another one just for example's sake. Look at this one. This one's really cool. Really warm, really dope. So you know what? Let's stick with this guy. I really like this guy a lot. So we're gonna go and make it a full screen. But as you guys can see, this has made this really yellow, which sucks. I really hate that. But usually I do fix that. Not usually, I do fix that in post and when I throw it into Photoshop. But pretty much, let's just do a whole edit. Let's just continue. So what I like to do is I like to desaturate my photos a bit, because I like metering for the shadows a lot of the time. And I love adding deeper shadows, guys. I really love adding organic shadows or blacks. It depends on the photo how I really truly feel, but like adding blacks and adding adding contrast, they really define the photo. So imagine it as like, it's flat, right? It's flat, and you need to add depth, you need to add sharpness, you need to add like, yes, depth. That's a really good word. You need to add depth. The one way you could add depth is to define the cheeks, define the eyeshadow, define where the shadows in the hair is, define the coat, as well as not losing the details. So you want to add blacks and add shadows without losing the detail. That is a very key component, because you don't want to crush everything. So even in here, you can sort of see the hair, right? And natural colors, because hair is not 100% black. So over here, I would move the sliders. As I can see over here, there's too much highlights on there, and we're gonna lower the whites just a tad bit. I could always come back and fix this, and I do love adding just like one clarity. A lot of people will say, oh, that doesn't change a lot, but it does change a lot. Even now, I think I'll leave it at 2. But over here, we're already going tone curves layer. I don't really want to add tone curves that much, so I'm gonna leave this. I rarely touch this unless there's like something really specific that I want to do, because I do my second step in Photoshop. This step is usually just to get the colors correct and to get the feel I really want out of the photo. So another thing that I would usually do is I'll go on split tones, right? If I don't really like how the split tones are looking in the shadows, I will edit them quite a bit, just a little bit. So I would add a little bit of reds in there just to spice it up a little bit. Another thing that I would do is back in the highlights. I don't know if I'm digging the highlights that much. Add a little bit of blacks. So let's see the progress so far. So as you guys can see, it's a lot. We're already getting the coloring really correct, and we're also going to move a little bit of the shadows. I really want some of the shadows, but if I want to darken it a bit, I want to pull some of these highlights back. and maybe I might overexpose it just a tad bit so that it does overexpose these really highlight spots, and also darken some of the blacks just a tad bit, so we're not losing detail. And look at that, we're still retaining all the detail, but we're also still defining the photo, which is really good. So over here, guys, that's the biggest secret. But I will also share with you guys, and again, these things really vary, right? If you go to the side, you can even get a Polaroid style photo. So like, I don't know where the Polaroid usually is, but yeah, VSCO presets are very important. So here you have the Fuji, right? You have the Fuji presets. They have that Fuji look. So you look at this one, it adds the blues. You see those? You see it adds all of these over here. It adds all those greens, and the way Fuji really looks, right? I really like this edit too. This is a really nice looking tones. These are really nice looking tones, actually. You know what, let's edit this. So usually, again, let's do this really quick. So usually when you pull up with the VSCO presets, what I also do is I need to take out the added grain. And the added grain is usually in effects. You pull that slider back, all the way back, so you do not lose, like, you do not add artificial grain, and it's still natural grain on your photo. This is all natural grain with just a little bit of digital grain, which is all fine. But you know what, I'm gonna revert it back to what it was before. I really like this one a lot more. Now looking from the last one, let me add up my brightness. So that, and again, this is very important, you put up your brightness, you turn down your you leave it in the middle, or you pull it all the way up, because if you're editing it at the darkest level, then you're gonna think that it's a dark photo and you're gonna overexpose it, right? So like over here, this is still looking really good. Yeah, I'm digging this. I'm digging this a lot. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go on effects again, pull this slider back, and then now I'm gonna go to photo, edit in Photoshop. This is the second step to how I edit. This part again, guys, I'm not gonna go really straight in depth in how I really do this part, because it's gonna take a lot of time. But this is where the Wacom Tablet comes. When it comes to editing these photos, guys, they do go through multiple stages with me, guys. Like, they go through a lot of stages. Oops. Photoshop, where are you? So here's a photo, Wacom Tablet now. It's Wacom Tablet time. So over here, I'm gonna zoom in. Again, look at how easy it is to use this guy. This guy's so easy to use. You just boom. You gotta learn your hotkeys as well. So what I do over here, I always create a second layer. There's nothing more important than the original layer, guys. So always keep in habit of saving your progress and also creating these layers. So the reason why I use Photoshop, guys, is to do editing. It's a lot easier for me to edit because of the healing brush tool. The healing brush tool really does a good job figuring out what is next, like how the scene is supposed to look. It's well advanced. It's very advanced software. It's really good at guessing. So right now you just like I think it's lagging because the Wacom Tablet is on, the recording software is on, but pretty much you just go over here, you're cleaning stuff up, just doing my thing, cleaning stuff up, taking some imperfections out. In this hat there's a lot of unnecessary things, like all these white fluffs. Get rid of all these as much as possible. But look at how fast this workflow is, right? You just pretty much move over here, you zoom in. It's kind of laggy because of, again, I'm doing so much. It's a lot of strain on the computer. I don't have that many gigs on it, so yeah, it does a really good job of just guessing how the thing is supposed to be. That was really terrible. That was really bad. Well, that was so bad. But I think I want to do this really slow. So usually when you find like problems with like editing little stuff like that, like you see the problems that I just ran into, It's just probably because you're just selecting a very big part. But again, I don't know. Again, I could touch on this on a different tutorial if I'm decide to make another tutorial on this. But this is my biggest secret, guys. But anyways, let's keep continuing. So as you guys see, this is how I pretty much edit. This brush is too big. I turn this down a little bit. That's way too big, way too big, way too big. So over here, you know, editing all these little things, guys, it's always the little things that matter the most. Look at this little joint over here. Usually I'll take the time to actually fill that in. But over here, we're gonna continue to edit, whereas like here, getting rid of all these things. If I want the brush, another cool thing why you need the Wacom Tablet, guys, is as you can see, depending on the pressure, it's giving a smaller effect. But more on the pressure, the effect gets bigger, right? Which is really good for a healing brush tool, because sometimes little particles like these ones don't need to be covered by the big brush, right? That's where the Wacom Tablet comes in, and it does this pressure sensitivity thing, whereas by the brush is huge, but the selection area is based off of pressure, right? But pretty much it goes through this little step. I'm not gonna go way too in depth with this because again, I was gonna be editing. I usually take a while editing these photos, so like yeah. And then over here I go on my curves layer. Obviously, I'm gonna briefly touch on this.
Valley in South Australia, one of the world's great wine regions, famous for its
what the f just happened?
One of the area's most successful hotels.
Okay, that was very weird. But anyways, we're back. So what I usually do is bring up the curves layer. I'm gonna briefly touch on this, guys, and I go on the luminosity. Photoshop edits photos a lot different, guys. So look at it this way. Lightroom is incredible. It's good. They're all great. But the thing is with Photoshop, what's a really good analogy? And a good analogy would be like you have Premiere Pro, right? For people that know video editing, Premiere Pro versus After Effects. Premiere Pro is really good to get all the basic stuff done and to get your street photography stuff done. But Photoshop is like that times 100, and you have more flexibility and more options. That's why I use Photoshop for more in-depth, even in the shadows and all that type of stuff. So over here, as I showed you guys, I went on the curves layer and I went on the luminosity. Luminosity just lets me control the shadows based off of the colors. So I'm on my reds right now. So I'm gonna start pulling down my reds just a tad bit over here to add more definition and more contrast to the parts that really truly matter. There's another way I usually do it. You could click on this hand over here and you can start pulling on things, right? You could start pulling on things based off of your eye, on the things that you want to pull. And then you go on your greens, and I like adding a little bit more definition without losing the detail. And I like to pull some of those highlights up a bit. And on my blues don't really adjust a lot. I just kind of like to do them on a bigger scale. In this case, I'll leave it over here. Do not look at the graph if you're actually, this is one of the things I used to do. Do not look at the graph to see if you're actually making changes. Don't do that. Look at your photo. And another thing is zoom in and out. Zoom in and out. I don't know why this area over here is still like it's supposed to be black. Like what is going on? Like my workspace area is supposed to be black. Like I guess I gotta restart Photoshop in order to make that apply. But whoa, that just got super trippy. Yeah, this looks like I'm high. Like whoa, super trippy. Trippy, dude, trippy. Now let's go back to Lightroom and see if it refreshes. Let's go back here. I guess we're still on trippy, but we're gonna zoom in. We're gonna leave it like this because I'm not redoing this video. So over here, We already got the blues and all that type of stuff. You could turn on the layer and turn it off to see what you've done. But take a look at that. We already added more definition to this photo. And again, guys, this is just a brief editing session. I go more in depth. I'm very big on coloring and making sure all the colors look correct. And tones. That's why I always say tones, because it's a process. But with that being said, guys, I think I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave more content. I don't wanna just run through everything, but my biggest secret is VSCO presets. But another thing that I did not mention, guys, I do have pre-done presets that I've created for myself. I did plan on selling those ones in the future. I might sell them in the future again. I don't know if I would sell them because, again, this is the way I edit my photos and secrets that I do to get my photos looking the way they do. But there's a lot of factors, guys, that really go into these photos, like the way you already started the photo, like the colors, the way you expose the photo. All these things are in-depth information that I would touch on in a guide. I would not touch on this just openly because it's very valuable information that will take your work from this level to like that level. So there's a lot more retouching techniques. There's a lot more brushes that I use to do more in-depth editing. There's other techniques like using black, like grabbing the skin tones and brushing them into to cover pores and cover pimples that are very difficult to get rid of, and to also like sharpen certain things. And I usually do these things when I'm working with a client. Like I used to do this when I was doing editorials, a lot of editorials and a lot of magazine work. I go really in depth and I always retain details, which is very important to do a clean edit and retain details. So I hope you guys really like this video. And like I said in the video, I am going to be doing my own presets for Lightroom that will help you guys get these effects, these like not effects, but they help you get your photo to where you want it to be. Like get that look, get that tones, get not that tones, but like, you know what I'm saying, but like get those tones to where you want to be. And yes, I might open up a Patreon account which will offer exclusive videos for a monthly subscription. I just still gotta figure it all out, but I'm just kind of jumping the gun and letting you guys know ahead of time. But with that being said, guys, I really appreciate you guys, the ones that really truly do support me, and the ones that don't, I mean, it is what it is. You're watching the video. I really still appreciate you for the watch minutes, you know. But other than that, I really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Shangy. I'm a film photographer, and I offer a bunch of like educational stuff. Not too educational, but I do a lot of vlogs. I do like a lot of like cool stuff. Yeah, cool stuff. Let's just call it cool stuff. Yeah, I do a lot of cool stuff, you know what I'm saying? Cool stuff. But yeah, I do a lot of cool stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel real quick, there's a little square over here. Hover your mouse over that square, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at Shop by Shiggy. Check out the brand at waybetterco.com. I sell a whole bunch of film merch, which is shoe film and a whole bunch of cool graphic tees. If you want to support me, go head over to waybetterco.com, waybetterco.com. And last but not least, follow and hashtag at WePhotoGods. Guys, I will disclaim something so that we are extremely clear. WePhotoGods is yours, but I will say, guys, our community guidelines are that we all support each other. So by following and by hashtagging, you will enter the community where we will support each other. If you follow, you're supposed to like the people that are featured, and we all gotta help each other go up. Imagine if we have 500 to 1,000 and your photo is up, and you want your photo to get that recognition and to get those numbers and to be appreciated, then you gotta also support other people's work, okay? So like, I do monitor a lot of these things. They also affect how you're gonna be. Like, are you active? Are you like, do you know what I mean? Like, are you supporting other people's work? Yes, your photo's dope, but like, there's a lot of things in life that it's just not gonna be about the photo. You gotta be able to support each other and, you know, give each other constructive criticism, uplift each other, and also follow each other in order for all of us to grow. This is extremely important, guys, that we all support each other. That's about it. I'm so sorry I went on a rant. I've been going on a lot of rants lately, but yeah, thank you guys again for everybody that supports me. You guys are so beautiful. I hope you continue shooting, and I hope this video helped.